Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, I've seen those moving. A friend around 10 centimeters power over all the time. Yeah, of course. Maybe you consider 180 plus all the doctor. Hey, good for them, man. If that is the case, good for them. But we're gonna wait for at least 10, 15 minutes. So if like a Georgia's got it 188 will you Georgia Game Boy? With 155, I feel like a midget. This is part of it. How old are you? Yeah, you see, I'm gate and fuck fixes. I'll call it. Yeah, probably, Max. We'll have to look into it, or we're gonna start that, or we're gonna do that tomorrow morning. And maybe do game work on a lot of Helldivers content on stream. Well, we'll see. Maybe a lot of work today. I could probably make 3, 4 videos for Helldivers today. And my step pro 7-2 says Cornholio. Oh, you seem a little bit too excited.
What's going on, fellas? Max Tree, the big bro, welcome back to the show. Hey, welcome back to the Red League. Thanks for everything, kind of early. Welcome back to the Vertical fellas, man. I'm glad to have you on board today. As I got all the new folks, the new fellas, man, that subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure y'all share these videos so we can get the brotherhood, build it up. Shit y'all can comment below. Appreciate that conversation. So, yeah, man, good talking, man. Welcome back to the main show. But we can't stand us, bro. The society that we live in don't appreciate it. The society that we live in don't respect us, gives us nothing. Everything that we have as kids, from cocaine, we got for it. So, for us to have this little brotherhood right here online, man, that shit means so much. Man, that's what goes through a lot of talk y'all do. Talk about y'all. Talk about toxic business.
Boy, what the hell is that shaking my house? Oh my god. The worst ones, I do not want them over here. I'm slapping all y'all. Get the hell away. It's crazy when you start building in certain places. They just start popping up out of nowhere.
Since they know that they screwed up with their government, they're going to say that
Oh boy, why you want to go on the wall, my boy?
they're never going to say that they don't know how to treat men because they never had a father. So they always try to flex and try to shame men for things that don't make no sense. Since they don't got nothing now, since they losing all trust with me, attention is their number one go-to. It's their true. If they can get it's like they control that. If they can get that's a for a whole, that's a state. That's her state of mind. Okay? If she gets your attention, that's enough for her to take advantage of power for you. Two people still dating. She is all there. still think she gonna get Chris Brown. You know, still think she gonna get the guy 6 feet tall. Let's make a six-figure income. The guy 6 foot. If she can get your attention, she gonna get your attention. That's what these girls are chasing nowadays, fellas. That's their kryptonite. It's attention. You don't believe it? You gotta have the girls that put the naked. They all naked. They all dancing. All the girls on social media. All that happened 30 years ago. Clothes off. Just nasty. It's so bad. They're so nasty now to the point it's not even desirable. We looking at it like almost like porn. This shit is free, but it's so bad. You don't even want to. That's how it is. It's like these chicks. Once upon a time, used to be a monster. See what girls look like. People be trying hard as hell to get it. Nigga, you'll take an hour to all these places. You'll take a dance. You'll take a hike in their white water raft. Climb in the mountain, all kind of shit. You'll do anything with this motherfucker just to get inside them pants. Nowadays, they don't even want it because they all naked.
Yeah.
Showing guys, they got tats all on their ground. They definitely not white. They just some 3 or 4 type chick. They just look they carry themselves like folks. And they wonder why kind of shit. They on dating sites now, taking pictures. They still thinking on dating sites. It's even worse on dating sites. They got their clothes off, they laying in a hotel bed, taking pictures in a hotel room and shit like that. Somebody in the hotel. Got lingerie on, short ass booty pants on, and they come and they fire.
Mm-hmm.
They all on the dating site that you see the ladies on the dating site. They all got I'm looking for long term. Then as soon as you tell them like long term, that's they way to block. So to make themselves feel good because you give them attention. See, it's like that shit on dating sites, like on dating sites, it's like on social media. It's like that when you take that number out. You can see a girl on their face and you say something to them. That's a attention girl right there. That was her bar of all pure white for the whole day. That's all they need. You gotta understand they live off this shit. If they can see if she got fake lashes, fake nails, fake lips, fake eyebrows, fake hair, fake crown on their face, and she got a nigga to say something to her like, you're so good. That's it. That's it. Because they ain't even really fucking what she look like. These girls nowadays don't even know what she look like. You don't even know who they girl are. But they don't even, they have a costume. The costume look like a fucking clown that literally runs the world of the baby. So you don't even know who the honest shit is. They costume, they wear their makeup and all this extra shit on their body. It's like a mascot to get a basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much costume on. They don't even know the outfit they got on. They a totally different type of woman. Especially around no shit. Whatever. And when they send you pictures, don't ever expect it to be them. And when they send you pictures nowadays, they use it. Not only makeup, not only all the fake stuff they got on, all the fake stuff they wear. They got filters to go on top of that from social media. So they send you a picture with makeup on, and then she gonna send you. Then she
More
gonna put a
makeup.
filter on it and gonna make herself look like she don't care look like I don't know girl at that point. Serious, the girl we look at the girl like cartoon character. And they think niggas don't know. They think men don't know anything. tell her to send her a picture of herself. Tell her to send a picture to tell her to send a picture of your makeup on. Look like this. Take a picture with no makeup on, no filter on that. You would think you was a special needs class. Put a helmet on. Put one with a helmet on. Put a helmet on. Put the back on that right now. I'm telling you, brother, nigga, you don't be see when you see these girls, and you doing all this for attention, but you ain't falling in love with nothing. Build makeup. All the women want attention, don't fall for it, don't give it none, bro. These girls need to be stripped of all they pride. Us men have to give them nothing over down on these fucking girls. These girls out there can put themselves before the God when it comes down to attention. Nigga, if you read the Bible more than giving her attention, just like that. They crave attention. Somebody goes to intense because she would rather live knowing that she dead at you. She would respect faulty ass attitude. Nose in the air. Head. She turns you down because you was trying to get at her. But you see what I'm saying? They would rather steal your attention. And you would say,
Razzle dazzle.
Attention to help my insecure, low self-esteem ass get through the rest of my days. So I made it seem like I didn't like him because I fucking poor and pathetic. You feel me? I'm a soulless creature. And I have to make men feel bad when they holler at me because I know that I've been a poor helpmate in the past with every guy I've tried to get with. I've been in 3 marriages. So any guy that approaches me and gives me his attention, I'm going to spill it before it gets too good. And he finds out that I'm not shit and that I'm good. So I'm going to spill it. Very nigga. This is what these modern day bobblehead biscuit 304
Oh, he's tripping.
They have nothing. They don't have a mouth that fits in. They have no skills. They bring nothing to the table. They're not intellectual.
She's tripping.
They don't know how to write. They don't know how to spell sentences. They don't know how to communicate. They live in fear. They're scared of birds. They're scared of chickens. They're scared of dogs. They're scared of you niggas. They scared of. And this is why I say they're attracted to toxic men. I'm gonna say that for another video. Nuts, juice, game, experience.
Howdy, gamers. This video that you're going to watch today is about avatars of life. It has a new format. Topic this news that happened in Xbox, my honest opinion. And when you get through half the video, possibly 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes with something, I think it's minute 940, I'm going to start spewing. So with you, depending on who you are, you're not going to be able to stand the second part. I'm telling you to turn it off at minute 940. And if you're a hater who's only interested in sincere, interested in an opinion that's sincere, skip to minute 940, and then you can make me a sword and criticize me or whatever you want. In addition to all this, I want to send a big hug to Sugus, because today is a sad day, and I want to give him a big hug here. From me and from my wife and from the entire squad, because he is our miniaturist, in case anyone doesn't know. He suffers, we suffer with him when we suffer. Big love, Eager. Let's watch the video and see what you think. As you know, it's in 2 parts. You can choose to watch both or neither, whichever makes you the angriest. Hey, how are you gamers? Today I want to talk to you about the day we're experiencing on PlayStation. This day in which there are a lot of people very angry about PlayStation being made. Hey, I want to send a message like I did the other day with the people on Xbox. I want to send a message of reassurance and tranquility, because there are many people saying PlayStation is no longer worth it. This is not true. You are misinforming. This is not worth it. And moving on to the PC. Quote, well, for all these people, what I want to tell you, for all these people who say that, well, they are very angry because now there are no games coming out. Because there are no more exclusives. The first thing is that the news does not mean that there will not be exclusives on PlayStation. That's the first thing. I want to send that message of reassurance because we have to be the same. The scenario that the news were, for example, first party, right? For example, first party that came out imagine and listed on Xbox. I don't see where the problem is in these minds. They seem to be in pain everywhere. These people seem to be For me, it's the best controller that PlayStation has made since it came out. For me, it's the best console that PlayStation has made. Things are what they are. For me, PS5 is the best console that PlayStation has released to date. You have a ton of games. Xbox is releasing games to you. Does it matter if you're they release some PlayStation games on another platform? I don't know this, honestly. What's going on? Games going to come out? Xbox. Well, I'm going to buy Game Pass with the Xbox. I'm going to pay 40 bucks the rest of it. It's awesome. Friends, I'm going to play a few games, and I'm going to buy it on Xbox, because I have a Super Game Pass there, and of course, that's includes all the games. So, very simple, quite simple. I want to do it.
Developing news coming out today as we're hearing that President Donald Trump has made an announcement regarding the Russia-Ukraine conflict, to which Russia in just the past hour has responded and said this is going to lead to escalation, not between Russia and Ukraine, but between Russia and the United States, which could lead to war. Now, I'm going to share with you the latest video footage, the headlines, the articles, so you can see it for yourself. Take a look with me. Coming up just in the past 30 minutes, Russian ex-President Medvedev says Ukraine ultimatum will lead to war. Each new ultimatum is a step towards war, not between Russia and Ukraine, but with Trump's own country. Medvedev says the United States is being threatened with war by Russia. Now, Trump sets a new deadline. This is what has sparked all of this conflict. You can see this coming out in just the past hour. It's been updated. Today, July 28, 2025, Trump sets a new deadline of 10 to 12 days. Russia to act on Ukraine, saying you're not going to enter this war, and now. And take a look at this, coming out just 42 minutes ago. So again, to clarify, this is breaking news coming out today, July 28th. Zelensky has praised Trump for a clear stance in a shortened deadline for Russia, as he is saying it's time to end the Russia-Ukraine war. 15-day deadline has come to an end. It is now going to be 10 or 12 days, and he's saying get it done there's going to be consequences, and Russia already responding just the past number of days. They are saying you will be leading the United States into war. Man, let me know your thoughts. I'm going to cover for you the video footage and the article so you can see it for yourself. But what do you think we are going to be going on here? Is the United States going to be entering into war? If you think so, put 1 in the comments. If you think we're going to be able to stave it off, we're going to come to some sort of negotiation, peace, deal agreement, peace in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. We're going to get right to it so that way you can see it for yourself. And if you appreciate the updates, the breaking news coming out, I'm going to put it on the screen, read right from it. I hyperlink all the sources so you can see the dates, where they're coming from. If you appreciate that, before we dive into it in a second, hit the like button, that helps out the channel. I appreciate it. Now, in addition to that, to stay up to date, it's tone and saying, "You're not messing with the Middle East. You are threatening Russia." Trump said on Monday today that he was disappointed in Russian President Vladimir Putin's failure to end the war in Ukraine, and that he was reducing the deadline to agree a peace settlement from 50 days to 10 or 12. And you just saw the video footage on that. We're going to be looking at more commentary on that here in just a second, some video footage. Also on Monday today, Medvedev said a framework trade agreement struck between the European Union and the United States was anti-Russian, likening it to a de facto ban on buying Russian oil and gas. The U.S. struck the deal with the EU on Sunday, yesterday, imposing a 15% import tariff on most EU goods. Now, Ursula von der Leyen, president of the European Commission, said in a statement afterwards that the agreement would help fully phase out Russian fossil fuels in favor of American alternatives. Purchases of U.S. energy products will diversify our sources of supply and contribute to Europe's energy security. We will replace Russian gas and oil with significant purchases of U.S. LNG, oil, and nuclear fuels, von der Leyen said. Now, Russia has repeatedly said U.S. LNG is much more costly than Russian LNG. The EU, which has imposed sweeping sanctions on Moscow over its war in Ukraine, has long been trying to buy less Russian oil and gas. Medvedev said Trump has wiped the war with the EU, but that the agreement was not good for Russia either. Of course, the deal is clearly anti-Russian in nature, prohibiting the purchase of our oil and gas, Medvedev wrote on Telegram. He predicted the fallout of Europe and its citizens would be damaging, as they would have to pay more for their energy. One can only feel sorry for ordinary Europeans, Medvedev said. So there you have it. That was the response that we saw from Russia coming out on this regarding the deal taking place. And they also said that these threats, this ultimatum to get this war done right away, he said this is leading us closer to war. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this ultimatum that was issued by Trump today as well. Now, you can see this coming out just 1 hour ago today, July 28th. Trump sets a new deadline of 10 to 12 days for Russia to act on Ukraine. Now, the article says U.S. President Donald Trump set a new deadline on Monday today of 10 to 12 days for Russia to make progress toward ending the war in Ukraine or face consequences, underscoring frustration with Russian President Vladimir Putin for the 3.5-year-old conflict. Trump has threatened both sanctions on Russia and bans on its exports unless progress is made. The fresh deadline suggests the U.S. president is prepared to move forward on those threats after previous hesitation to do so. So that is coming out just a little while ago. We saw that video footage. And also, let's take a look at this. Zelensky saying he is very happy.
Haven't found no polymer yet.
President Donald Trump putting the pressure on Russia. Zelensky praises Trump for a clear stance in a shortened deadline for Russia. Now, this article from Reuters originally says Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky praised U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday today for his expressed determination in calling for a shortened deadline and making progress for an end to Russia's war with Ukraine. A clear stance and expressed determination by the President of the United States, right on time, when a lot can change through strength for real peace, Zelensky wrote on X, a social media platform. I thank President Trump for his focus on saving lives and stopping this horrible war, he wrote. In his nightly video address, Zelensky again was most particularly significant statement in the light of cities. Ukraine, he said, saw the imposition of tough sanctions on Russia as a key element in ending the war. Russia pays attention to sanctions, pays attention to such losses, he said. Ukraine is ready to work productively with the United States to work with President Trump to end the war with dignity and a secure, lasting peace, he wrote. Wow. Let me know your thoughts. Are you glad to see this aggressive approach by Donald Trump? If you are, drop a 47 in the comments for support for the Trump administration. If you're not glad to see this, and you think this is going to be taking us to war, put war in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Well, let's take a look at some more updates coming out on this commentary. Just in the past couple of hours, as we're hearing that Trump has put this ultimatum on Russia to end the war, and Russia responding back. What you are doing could lead to war with the United States and Russia. Let's go ahead and take a look.
First, senior White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich is in Edinburgh, Scotland. Jackie.
Harris, President Trump said he's going to make this announcement tonight or tomorrow, that Putin has 10 or 12 days to get this done. But he already effectively sent that message, telling reporters who were in the meeting with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer that there's just no sense in giving Putin the full 50 days because he already knows what the end result's going to be at the end of that timeline.
I'm disappointed in President Putin. Very disappointed in him. So we're going to have to look, and I'm going to reduce that 50 days that I gave him to a lesser number because I think I already know the answer that's going to happen.
Scotland visiting. Trump said the consequence if Russia does not agree to a deal will be sanctions and maybe secondary sanctions on countries doing business with Russia. That would have big impacts for major purchasers of Russian oil like China, India, and Brazil. And President Trump also revealed something that Putin won't be getting and why.
He wants to do trade deals with us. He talks about it all the time. He wanted to. And I envision that a lot of trade with Russia. They have a lot of valuable things. When you talk about rare earth, they have serious rare earth. Well, it doesn't make sense to me. I thought he would want to end this thing quickly. I really felt it was going to end. But every time I think it's going to end, he kills people.
This was about as downcast as we've seen President Trump when it comes to his dealings with Putin. And he said that he doesn't want to have to hit Russia with sanctions and that he loves the Russian people. But he acknowledged that Putin has been saying the things that he wants to hear and then doing the opposite. He also acknowledged his own belief that he'll be able to get this thing to an end might be dimming because he doesn't understand what Putin's doing here and his mindset. But he did leave open the chance that maybe a deal still comes together within that 10 or 12 days, just maybe.
You know, Jackie, it's interesting. This isn't the first time in recent days that we've heard the president talk about those phone calls. And in one, he referenced the first lady, and he said, then she told me, you know, that another building had been hit in Ukraine, and I knew that everything Putin had just said wasn't true. So all of this now seems to have a ramping up effect. We'll get into it with my first guest. Good to see you. Thank you. Steve Moore, former Trump economic advisor. So, Steve, you just heard me saying that this seems to have a ramp up. Talk to me about Russia. I want to know what the President of the United States is about to do to Russia and how that's going to hurt their economy and how fast.
Harris, great to be with you. What Trump is doing with respect to his foreign policy moves is exactly what he has done so successfully with trade deals. He is exerting his muscle and flexing our muscle and forcing countries to do things that are in America's interest and in the interest of the whole world. So the situation with Russia is very simple when it comes to their economy, Harris. Their entire economy is dependent on selling their oil and gas, and it's also dependent on being able to sell things to the United States in our $20 trillion consumer market. And Trump is saying, look, you're going to lose access to that. We are going to keep out your oil and gas in ways that will really hurt their economy. And I believe this will be a successful strategy. In other words, I think he's going to drag Vladimir Putin to the negotiating table, just as he's done with trade, and say, stop and assist Ukraine. Let's get a peace deal.
Look, I'm just going to be plain speaking. That's going to be really dependent on whether or not our so-called friends in Europe are no longer duplicitous when it comes to buying Russian oil. Come on, let's get real. We know that they have been doing that. So, the president's going to have to on that part, too.
I just add one thing to that, Harris. You're exactly right. But there's something else we can do that Trump is already doing, but he can turn the spigots on here in the United States.
There you go.
Every time we produce an additional barrel of oil here in the United States or more natural gas, who do you think is hurt the most by that? Russia is.
Yeah, and in interviewing the Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright, who the president has chosen to lead, come on, let's get us into our independence zone again. Let's get there again. We're seeing some movement. So, all right, so let's move to this. President Trump also addressed that major trade deal with the European Union. Let's watch.
I want to focus on the deal we just made with the European Union, which is the biggest trade deal in history. We've made the big ones. We just finished Indonesia. They opened up their country. We just finished Japan. They opened up their country. The Philippines just finished. They opened up their country. They were very closed. I'd love to see China open up their country. So we're dealing with China right now as we speak. Yeah, we're dealing with China right now.
Well, all of this comes as revenue from the president's tariffs is surging. In June alone, the U.S. collected more than $27 billion. Look, I don't know what kind of reporting can really skip this, but in some avenues, as you know, in legacy, they will skip this. This is a big deal.
A big deal indeed, and as you know, I've been kind of a skeptic of this approach.
I do.
Because I don't like tariffs, but I want
Gotta
to
get
see
rid of the roaches.
one country after another, whether it's Canada, whether it's Japan, Korea, China. Well, I want to see the fine print on the China deal because I don't trust the Chinese. But now, if you get the big plum here, which is the European Union, I would have thought that this would have been the toughest one to get because the Europeans are protectionists. They discriminate against American technology products. They discriminate against our agricultural products, our automobiles. So this is huge for American workers and the American economy. Now, again, I want to see the deal. I want to see the fine print because I don't know whether these countries will actually, they'll agree to the deal, but whether they will actually, follow through with it, we will see. But this is incidentally, this is a fairer trade. I'm a free trade guy. So what Trump is doing is leveraging down all the terrorists around the world. That's a great outcome for everyone.
Look, I want to get to this. It's already been a big 6 months, we know. It's only Monday, and it's shaping up to be a good week for the economy under President Trump. We have trade deals, that major tariff revenue that I just mentioned, $27 billion. His big, beautiful law, as I call it, that has now been putting spending changes and tax cuts, trillions of dollars of investments into the U.S. economy and decreasing gas prices and increasing retail sales. Look, the vice president, J.D. Vance, is in Canton, Ohio, talking about this right now. Let's watch just from moments ago.
You need a government that makes it easier for workers and for yourselves to invest and build wealth right here in the United States of America. You need a government that makes your life easier to build wealth. And that's what the Trump administration is committed to doing every single day. The big beautiful bill includes billions and billions of dollars to secure our border, to deport those criminal migrants, and to allow the United States to take control of its country once again and kick those drug cartels the hell out of the United States of America.
It seems like they've got some sort of deal that they're going to do, and he hears later on that same day that they have actually agreed yet again that there's going to be some sort of an agreement with Russia. Do you think so? Peace? Do you think no? But war? Ultimatum would be Trump says he's giving them 10 to 12 minutes to figure out some sort of ceasefire agreement. Zelensky's embraced on his clear stance for shortening the deadline. So let's say one of the things that Donald Trump is doing right now is significantly helping out the United States' economy. Tariffs, you saw the numbers, it's huge. And in fact, we have heard, take a look at this, if you missed it, I shared with you that they said that there could be tariff rebates to the American people as a result of the tariffs that are hitting all these other nations. And coming out today, just a couple of hours ago as well, Senator Josh Hawley has introduced the bill to send tariff rebate checks to Americans. Now, stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet, because the details of this coming out today, July 28th, 2025. Another live stream later on to give you all the details. Essentially, it's like tariff rebate checks, think like stimulus, pandemic checks, going out and going into the It's the American people heard President Donald Trump say he's on board with this. Now we're seeing the bill being presented. We'll see if it goes anywhere from here. Let me know. See the way that see the way he's handling the economy.
You know what? You, Superman. Some of this, so a full playthrough of this game. See how we go. Played the original Rogue City, which I absolutely adored and loved. So this is going to be a treat for me to play because it's all never complete. So let's get into it, right? Now, I know there's going to be some bugs in this game, so together, right? So what do we do? I'll charge that.
Zero waste succeed. That's been the sun. Which the full flood land. Singing hard. The energy generated. That's an
Hey, man. What you did, buddy?
This is Big Brother trading so we can get into it. Video for the download. See it fast. This video
She said I gotta see it fast.
is this video to make you feel content about trying to prove yourself. And this video is gonna hurt you. This video gonna make you feel
This is like the TV. And that's the map.
It ain't no secret that it's a strange time. Strange time. You find yourself wondering, you don't mind somebody. Feel like you don't need they used to. But your mind telling you they used to. And somebody else telling you you need to. But you think you should be there. It's like your mind is all over. Same kind of journey, especially if you're watching. So I see days I have they sent your information, man. Listen, don't argue with nobody, don't fuss with nobody, just be on the fight, man. The best thing you can do nowadays is keep some good people. I said it again. Don't argue with nobody. Don't go back and forth in no text message battle with nobody no more. Don't waste your time.
I don't even want to go outside. This shit's like so comfortable. I just want to chill inside of this house.
Who are not for you. Okay? Do not engage with people who are not for you. Don't talk to people. Okay? It sounds selfish or self-centered, but I'm telling you, it's the safest thing you can do in these troublesome sometimes we are living in. Leave these toxic people alone, bro. Y'all walking amongst zombies nowadays. Y'all walking amongst high-dog NPCs. Okay? These people out here are sick in the head. These people are bitter. They're haters. And they are constantly looking to feed off of whoever is doing good in their life. I assume you're doing decent. Doing great. Good. Fix. We ain't probably got the greatest lifestyle in the world, but daddy, I would probably feel your energy. I'd probably say you feel like you're doing good. But listen, keep in mind, man, taking from somebody who builds thousands and thousands and thousands every day of his life and has time. The best thing is keep it moving, bro. Don't argue with nobody. Don't bring your energy down. Listen, the enemy sees you doing the right thing. The most high. You see you following the plan of the most high. Right? You know you're doing the right thing. Don't nobody else know that you're doing the right thing. This is what bothers me. When people see you doing something that makes you happy themselves, they see you doing the right thing. Right? They see you happy with what you got in you. They see that you're making the use out of your privileges. You ain't complaining. They see you able to get up, spit, smile in your face, show up for work, get your work done, take your work home. I just want to do with that. I'm telling you, man, people with monitoring spirits nowadays. You look amongst a lot of them to monitoring spirits, burns, people that are set back in the corner, set back in the nuts, watching out here watching, trying to find maybe a 5 seconds of fame for these people out here. They see great, they see bad. This is what Decepticons do. They suspect something bad is happening to your life position. Just follow the lead. Oh shit, I'm standing in the lead. So if they found out you run a game, if they found out you got a strength or a ability, they It's gonna feel like you just by yourself. But I'm telling you, it's better to be safe than sorry, bro. It's better than not have no friends and have 10 people. It's better to have no friends than be in the car with the wrong fellas that you got going or something. And that's your whole life of this bobblehead ass dude. He couldn't control his own mood. Flashed out. And the person in the basket was don't argue with nobody. Don't talk to me. Man, inside the I'll be the same. I would say I used to be a nice dude. Still real nice, but I ain't getting it with you. I used to get it with my generosity. Now I know my worth. Can't have my worth no more. Cannot give me something worth of what I'm worth. But I know I'm about to die. I know you hang around me. You know you touch my friend. I know you be around me. They call you and you crazy about me. I know you out here they get spotted. I would like anybody that know me that ever heard me play card with me would know. From the women to the youth. I know what my energy, my vibration is. You're like when I come from the gym sometimes, or anywhere I go out, I open the door from the next guy coming behind me. I open the door, I don't even look back no more. I don't even look back no more and say, you are. Say thank you, Moses. I don't even look back no more. I don't put my fingers up to people. I don't even want to talk to you. I don't even want to talk to you. I used to be real nice with the public. I seen how treacherous the public is. They hate you when they want to hate you. They love you. They hate to control you. They desensitize. They hate you one day and they love you the next day. And they love you one day and they hate you the next day. It's damn if you do. If you ain't happy with yourself, you ain't happy at all. I'm to the point, man. I just told you. Don't argue with nobody. It ain't worth your time. Tell them. Girl, you take an argument with your man, they ain't talking. Keep it moving, bro. That's the best thing you can do, bro. If you don't know what to do, if you don't know how to get back to your right way, I'm telling you the answer. Get up, put forth the action, and keep it moving. Forget about who did you dirty. Forget about who turned their back on you. Forget about who left you hanging out in the rain. Forget about who owed you money. Forget about who talking junk about you. Forget about how much money you don't got right now. The best thing you can do to make broken doing all these years, I know how to keep it consistent and keep it moving. I ain't got nothing to say. To each his own, bro. That's how I feel. I get mad. I get glad. The less baggage you got, the faster you can run. That's why I'm moving now. I ain't attached to none of this material stuff. And this stuff was easy. You know what? I know I'm gonna get it back because I know who I am. Can't let go of nothing because they don't know who they are. They don't have any value. They put all their value in possessions and cars. And they put all their value in stuff outside of themselves because they not even still happy on the inside. Me, I give up all this shit and get it right back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Travel across the country, touring the road, still great no matter where I go. Know who you are, who you as a person. You don't need people to validate your happiness. Carry that inside of you. When I say the temple of God, the temple of God is inside. So go on the inside. People don't determine who you are. They don't say that. They don't say that. I had somebody call me a Freemason and say, "What is Freemason?"
This is like.
So they think I'm a Freemason. That's cool. Damn. Y'all looked up. When I texted me, it's like, yo, this initiation, you got a good part. shit about it. Damn. Awesome. But nah, I'm just saying that because that's how people live. They NPCs. NPCs, they call you names because they can't say anything positive because they are they right. If you a person that's really full of happiness and positive energy, you don't have to say nothing negative to somebody else to make yourself feel better. You just keep it to yourself. Don't say that to them. It wouldn't all make you can't fit. And you say so. What's up, man? How you doing? I see somebody, a lost soul, an NPC, who's looking for love and they're like, you don't got no right to be. They get off by throwing shots at you. That's why I say don't argue with nobody because they want love. They want your energy. They want to drain you so they can make themselves feel good. If they make you the token to feel bad about yourself, hey, that's their little Instagram page. Let's say mindset is brain on the token. Something I get mad. They think they're winning, but they really are already alone. Tell you, man, don't worry about having friends. Don't worry about be yourself. Love what you do. Love your passion. Love your crowd. Don't care if they're right or wrong. Don't care if they're spoken to them or love your crowd. Be happy. Do what you want to do. Let people talk. They don't always have something to say, but they find something. Just find one way to feel bad. Stuff is bad. He was doing something. It's the world we live in, y'all. I tell everybody to be desensitized. Everybody's worried about everybody else. Just look around. On social media, everybody is worried about everybody else except they want themselves. But they have no life. Other people's lives have become their entertainment because everybody, they're so miserable. Ain't no argument. That's the problem with most of y'all. Most of y'all lose y'all life, y'all lose y'all energy because y'all arguing with people. A lot of y'all worry and get out of here and depressing conversations with women about certain women. There's certain ways to you deal with women who settle down discouraged when they don't do nothing but talk about emotions not feeling so good. It's ridiculous. Stop letting these other people make y'all feel bad about y'all stuff. Let fuck them. Worry about you and your kids and your own selves, brother. Stop arguing with people. Stop arguing with baby daddy. So what is that? So, see how you're always gonna be that person. Anything you do yourself, feeling able to feel, keeping it comfortable, keep it moving, keep your happiness. That's the valuable thing you got. Keep yourself enjoy about yourself. You keep yourself sober. You keep yourself content. You keep yourself healthy. Keep yourself happy. But when you are accomplishing in your life, you gotta worry about crazy every time. What about you? You deserve the best. You want to make everybody else happy. They want to see you mad, sad, down, broken, stuff like that. They always play a little trap. They argue with them. They don't have to go with them. They want you. They want you. his boy. They told me to they told me and that's why I started my social media. Like, hating on me all now big for I'm your big brother because I feel like a big brother. Fire, man. But I feel like I'm a real true friend that people that desire to really be connected. And I'll take the time. I'll literally take the time out and get connected with them if that's what they choose to do. But as far as being up into the whole world, as far as selling my soul for the world, I think people make you like make them like me. Look how many people I see today to watch. On this camera and inspire me. Don't make me no different. This ain't my only platform. I got multiple platforms I get on this thing. Like I said, I can tell you if y'all want to get connected personally, or when you talk, I ain't on my social secret society. What you talking about? Conversation with me. Hey, how you doing? They go to church, they get past their jobs. Say, I ain't in church. Time to go. That's my name, my game. But people are going to be like other zero.
No, United States focus. They know they're the only it's like the supposed to. See, we were chosen to stand out, not blend in. And then, see, the devil works. That's who you with the low vibrational energy. Why? They want to destroy your calling. So they'll try to distract you, get you off your bases. You got to know how to pull back. Let people see it happen. They'll fall to their own devices. Y'all got to understand, they feed into a reaction. Feed. Romans 12. That's what really turns the other cheek is. See, they want you to react. But silence, your discipline, your refusal to engage in what is blessed. That's how you win spiritual warfare. Listen, now everyone is your control. It's the one who will be when you walk in the workplace, when you handle your business, when you're doing the things you need to do. I'm telling your co-workers everything. You're not there to you're not there to, get what they expect. Be wise. See, they hate your work. They hate it. That's right. Somebody said you gotta protect it. Stephanie said that means we're right on time. Matthew 5:14. Ye are the light of the world. Because a man is released every way. they see that you want people to look back, see, people will hate you without a cause. Not because you want them. No. It's because you refuse to come down to your peace, your purpose, your it's spoken. They're spoken. They can't hide who they are. And then you find out that they just hate. They just yell. Everything. That's all they are. And you realize how unimportant these individuals really are. Once the you see exactly what you do. Just like the scriptures tell us about how once you see the man of sin finally revealed, you don't think this is the man of sin? Look, we get the nation to go to take man. Let us fight the devil. It sounds like a creature with a ray of horns. The devil is not a creature with a ray of horns. The Bible made it clear. If the devil is not a men, right? And we know it's English, it's the open, but we ain't going to go there right now. But nonetheless, once you see fire these wretched beings that they are, all the individuals that try to be free and limbo in your life, all the people who try to, narratives, transform, distort, those who try to keep, See, you're better just being around. Why? Because a lot of you brothers and sisters, y'all no longer drinking. You're no longer smoking. You're not chasing high. You're not chasing lust or revenge. You don't slander. Gossip like them. They're ashamed. They feel some type of way about it. They know that you are clean contrary to their will. And you talk to them. So they lie. They try to protect you. But guess what? They can't get you stupid. They can't get you stupid. So they're right. And if it's that person ain't like that. Now that person's fasting. Like the good boy Solomon said, let us watch them with spitefulness and reproaching. Let's test that individual to see if they really be a child of God. So they come and present you. Here come the intelligence. Here come the lie. Here come the blood. Here come the hatred. Why? Because you're set apart. That's how we go. And watch out for the people. They know that you on a positive track in life. They know that you're headed towards the right direction. Nah, they don't want to see that. They want to see you right with them. Why? Because they being used by the devil. Yeah, I'm telling you. Let's see. We got more scriptures though. We're going Amos, pardon me. Amos 3:3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? Cannot. And ladies and gentlemen, you have to ask yourself that. Can you really afford to walk with people who are demon time? Can you really afford it?
Thank y'all for showing up for Thought. Sorry it was a little boring, but just tap a little like for me. Just sneak it on in there if y'all was watching. A lot of people don't know about Thought, but the rat. I have to say it right, the rat. But it's a cool map, and I giving it a try. I miss Ragnarok. That's what I miss. But till then, hope y'all run it back and like the video. Peace out. Y'all have a good night. Stay blessed.